Hello YouTube, this is RG Rider. This week I regret to inform that I am not going to be reporting on a deck concept or anything Yu-Gi-Oh related. Instead, this week is going to be a preemptive strike on the upcoming game, Battle Spirits. I actually found this game after seeing an ad in a Shonen Jump magazine and couldn't resist the offer to get free cards. I actually ended up getting to the demo decks. And on that note, let's get over onto the cards. There are three types of cards: Spirits, Spells, and Nexus. Spirits are the attackers of your deck. They have a few things you need to look at. First off is the cost, which is the little number at the top left corner. This is the number of cards you gotta spend at least to get this card out. Next is that little six-pronged star-like thing. Kind of looks like a pound sign. This will have either no or a number between 1 and 6 ovals. These ovals are your cost reduction. What is cost reduction? Cost reduction is the maximum amount of base count cost which can be taken off from a card. There are two factors to consider in cost reduction: the current amount of cards with the same color as the card you're trying to use, and the printed reduction limit. For example, Viper Purple Spirit has a cost of 4, but a reduction cost of 2. If there are no purple spirits on my side of the field, then he costs 4 cores. But if I have let's say I have one other purple spirit on the field, his cost will be reduced by 1. If I have 3, it won't go down more than 2, because his cost reduction only goes up to 2. Next is the species, which right now isn't important. After that comes the stats. Stats are as follows: level progression, which tells you the number of cores a spirit needs to be at a level, along with its battle points or attack in each of those levels. Some cards, like Viper, have effects. The text will tell you what level the monster has to be to use it, when to use it, and what you should do. For example, Viper says, at level 1 or 2, when he's summoned, draw 1 card. Last off, it's a flavor text, but no one really cares for that. That's down at the very bottom. See, Spirits and Nexus both have those. Second of all, are spells. These are your skills, traps, etc. Again, things to read are cost, reduction, and effects. You'll note that some cards have Flash Step. I'll get to that later. Finally, our Nexus cards. These are the field spells of the game, and they stay on the field granting you benefits. They have the same anatomy as any other cards. Next of all are tribes. There are currently in the game 4 tribes. War, which is mostly lizards, dragons, and dinosaurs. They have high attack power points and are mostly good at getting a good field presence. Trees. The trees consist of bugs, plants, fairies, and things like that. These cards have several cards which help you gain an advantage using using cores. Next is the undead species, or tribe. These monsters are good at exhausting opponents' monsters, drawing, and lowering the opponent's levels. Fourth off is ice. I don't have an example of one of these right now because I didn't get one in the demo decks, but they are mainly oriented on blocking. Cores, which I'm going to go to now, are the tiny blue beads which you need in order to, let's see, you need them to summon spirits, level them up, pay costs, and etc. They can be substituted by pennies, counters, and anything small like that. The field. The field has 5 zones: life, reserve, deck zone, field, and trash. Since 3 out of 5 are self-explanatory, I'll explain life and reserve. Life is in a range anywhere between 0 and 5. 0 meaning you lost the game. 5 meaning you're at perfect health. When you take damage, a core from your life goes to your reserve pile. Like it go from here to here. Now that you're familiar with the cards, field, and cores, onto the actual game. You start off with your deck, shuffle, offer your opponent the cut, and then you draw your opening hand, which is 4 cards. You have 4 cores in your reserve and 5 life. 1 in each of these small circular objects. Okay. First is the start phase, which begins with the start step, similar to the standby phase in Yu-Gi-Oh! Usually nothing will happen unless a card effect says otherwise. Next, the draw phase. You always draw. If this is not the first turn of the game, you add a core to your reserve from your core pool. You can use anything for a core pool. I'm actually using a small Tupperware for it. Don't actually leave all your cores on the field. That's really stupid. A really stupid thing to do. Okay. Refresh any exhausted spirits. When a monster is exhausted, it means either it recently blocked or attacked during one of the last 2 turns, whether it be your turn or your opponent's turn. Only refresh your monsters. Second is the main phase. This is where you can summon monsters, play spells, level up, level down, or transfer cores. You can do these steps as many times as you wish, as long as you have the cores needed to do so. As an added note, since I'm summoning a monster, when you summon a monster, you must have enough cores to at least put the number on level 1. If a monster is depleted to level 0, it gets destroyed and goes to your trash. Next is the battling phase. First, you need to declare an attack. You have to select a non-exhausted monster. Your opponent can either A, take the damage, which is always, as of right now, always 1, or they can block with one of their spirits. However, like all games, first player has to skip their first battle phase. Between the 2 steps, there is something called a flash step. This is where spell cards with the word flash step on them come in handy. By paying the cost to use them, you can actually gain bonuses. For example, with the card Storm Draw, a target spirit gains 3,000 battle points until the end of the turn. The opponent, however, always has priority here and has a chance to play their flash step spell cards first. Then you, then the opponent, until both players decide to pass. Then after that, you compare the 2 monsters' attack points and decide a winner. Don't forget to apply effects. For Stagrove, since he's at level 2, if I were to have another spirit on the field, let's say I were to have Roxeratops on the field, I can add 1 core from my core pool to Roxeratops. He has to be at level 1, so now he's at level 2. The winner of that battle becomes exhausted, and the loser gets destroyed. After this phase is over, you end your turn, and your opponent does the same thing. Continue this until one player is completely out of life.